Ulver, the A of Julius Caesar versus Prozak, Paranormal. 360 albums, Tourney. Matchup for today. Matchup 60 something out of the 180 matchups. If my eye looks weird, I got hit full speed, point blank range in the orbital socket with a lacrosse ball at practice tonight. That awakened me, no doubt. So, let's start with Prozak. I think maybe Pamela's Art Design may have submitted this, or maybe Joe Ferrari, I'm not sure who, but it is a Egyptian rapper from Saginaw, Michigan, and his flow is pretty good. It reminds me at times of a slowed down R.A., the Rugged Man. At times he reminds me of Mike Shinoda of Linkin Park, and at times he reminds me of the kind of talking, slower style of Ivan Moody of 5FDP. I think he's associated with like Twisted and maybe ICP and some of those other bands from that area, some of the hip hop bands from the Michigan area. I know Twisted's on at least one song, and Chris Calico is on a couple songs. That guy's pretty talented. I don't think anybody submitted a Chris Calico album, but he's an interesting guy. He sounds very unique. I always like him when he pops up on somebody else's song. The highlight of this album for me is, I forgot the song title. Farewell. That's the highlight of this album. It's very well written and delivered, and there's a twist at the end of the song. Enemy and Line in the Middle also are songs that stand out. So it's going up against Ulver's, the A of Julius Caesar, and this has been one of my favorite albums over the past 5-ish years. Sometimes albums that you really love just don't sound as good at certain times. In the past couple of weeks, it's not sounded as good. Now, this is an album that I've drank a lot of bourbon to. So Falls the World. That's a song that went really deep. I don't know if y'all know this. Few of y'all know this, but I did a 64 bourbons bracket where I went all year long, and it was like an NCAA tournament. Bourbons paired up, and they're matched up with songs. And I did that again another year with 88 bourbons. It's way too much bourbon, way too many matchups, but I did it anyway. And songs, I paired songs up, and songs advanced and went against each other. And either in the 64 or 88 bourbons bracket, an Ulver song, I think So Falls the World, I think made it to the Final Four, if not won it. I don't think it won it. I think the songs that won were maybe by Ohm and maybe Dax Riggs, I don't know. Anyway, Lee Ball Bourbonaire did not care for the Ulver album. We were texting back and forth, and he said it was salon music, and made some disparaging comments about this album that I think is fabulous. I still really enjoy the album. I guess it'd be new wave, is what you would call it. Before this album, Flowers of Evil, came out, I liked it even more. But like Ulver, they can kind of make you a little impatient because they mix up their sound so much. I mean, they started as a black metal band. So this didn't sound as good to me as Prozak at times, but Prozak's just not as strong as this album overall. So advancing to the round of 180 albums and the 360 albums, Tourney is Ulver's, the A of Julius Caesar. This is so delicious. So, who's having some pours tonight? Who's listening to music? What are you listening to? Tell me what the last album you listened to was. And if you're having a pour, let me know what it is. Cheers.